What? What's you asking me for? Shouldn't be one.
Can you hear me?
All right. Well, good afternoon. My name is Josh Coleman. We'll get started here in a couple more minutes. I probably confused many people that have registered for this as I switched it from a meeting link to a webinar link. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. But we'll get started here in about another minute. Everything is being recorded. So if you have to jump away or if you couldn't be on it, that's okay. We will send out the replay and we'll also put it in what I'm excited to announce to you today with the Liquid Soap University. So give me another minute. We'll be right back and we'll go from there. All righty. Well, welcome to the Close More Deals with AnywayDollars workshop. I'm your host, Josh Coleman. I know many of you. Again, I want to take a moment here. This is August 6th, 2026, and in this webinar, I have screwed up the workflow in regards to how I sent the link out. So apologies for that, but the intent there was to make this a meeting, or excuse me, a webinar and not a meeting. And the reason we need to make it a webinar is many people asked to come in anonymously, and then they wanted to be able to post questions and really go through the Q&A in a way that maybe not was available to us in meetings. So if you registered for the meeting and you're not in the webinar today, my apologies. Please go back and check your emails. I tried to do my best to let you guys know that we were going to we were flipping the registration link from the meeting to the webinar. So enough about that. My apologies again. It is what it is at this moment, but I want to walk you through. I think Nick is with me here today, so I'm going to allow him to kind of jump in. And Nick, will you just kind of get us started with some housekeeping items?
Yeah, real quick, for anybody who wasn't on the webinar last week, we went over the invisible budget blueprint. If you just to do it as easy as possible, if anybody wants to scan the QR code on the screen, you'll be able to download the invisible budget blueprint. And if you want to, you can also have access to the meeting last week. Watch that meeting and then take a chance to review the invisible budget blueprint.
Yeah,
So we'll give you a second just to scan the QR code on your phone so you can download that.
As we walk into today's theme is all about our explosion brochure. So if you guys can see me on my screen here, we're going to walk through this explosion brochure and why it's so powerful. So whether you're on Natural Visions or you're on Pure Selects, my goal is one thing, is to get your team to understand and have confidence in what it is that you're pitching to your consumer or to your prospect. So you or maybe your team or your sales manager and their team, whatever it may be, typically what's happening is you guys are in homes each and every night running demos. And when you're running demos, if you're a part of the SOAP program now and AnywayDollars, a lot of things that I hear around the country, around really, because we do it in Puerto Rico and Canada as well, a lot of things that I hear is the sales reps doesn't have the conviction in the program. So my goal is to debunk all that today so that you guys understand where the value comes from and then answer any questions that you have in regards to the value. So I will flip out of this. Oh, Nick, will you kind of get us started on the resource tab for all the people that want to make sure that they're in our ecosystem as well?
Yeah, so if anybody wants to scan the QR code on the screen again to get access to our resources tab, what that's going to do is it's going to give you access to a couple things. Number one, it's going to give you access to everything you need to know about Pure Selects, all the products that we have, everything that's in the line of Pure Selects will be there for you to kind of learn about. Same thing with Natural Visions. If you're on Natural Visions, you can go to the Natural Visions link, know a little bit about everything and every single product we have. We have the soap close, so sales reps, owners, management, if you want to know exactly what the soap close does and how to present the soap close, we have videos on that link. The file vault is a little bit of everything. There's a lot of training on there. Our old co-owner of the company has a lot of videos on there that you can refer to, a lot of sales calls, a lot of sales trainings, all that stuff on there. We also have Coffee with Coleman, which seems to be a big hit. This is a podcast with Josh Coleman with other in-home sales professionals out in the field. You'll have access to all those podcasts and all the upcoming podcasts when they drop. You'll have Sales Mastery, which is just everything you need to know about sales, how to present in the house, all of that good stuff is in there. Operational and Leadership Mastery is in the resources tab as well.
Awesome, Nick. Thank you. So, again, apologies for some of the inconveniences today with the workflow and the links that were sent out. Everything from now on, you'll have the workflow's been fixed. So, again, apologies. Thanks for jumping in with us today. There's a couple things that we're going to cover. And the first thing that I want to talk a little bit about is the Explosion Brochure. I am going to walk you through this today. I'm going to ask Nick to role play with me a little bit. And we're going to go through this as if I'm your sales rep, or excuse me, if I'm the sales rep in the home talking to the consumer. Now, I'm going to ad lib this a little bit because the goal here is to give your sales team and your sales rep the conviction that they need to have confidence in the program that they're presenting. Okay, so I want to say that again. The mission today is to give your sales reps and your team members the confidence and the conviction of the SOAP program. Okay, so hopefully there's a couple nuggets here that you guys can walk away with, you can implement into your sales training. Maybe there's a light bulb moment for some of you guys, that sort of thing. But I really wanted to start here, which was the invisible blueprint. There's two pages that I really want to pick on for a second. First one is page 3 of the invisible blueprint. I'm going to blow this up because I think it's this important. So here's the idea with the the soap pack. Your customer is already spending the money to have exactly what you're selling them, whether they buy your system, they buy your installation, they buy your thing, they buy your service or not. They're already spending the money. Hopefully we can all agree on that. Okay? We're already as consumers spending money on commodities such as dish soap and laundry soap and multi-purpose cleaner and dishwashing soap and shampoos and conditioners and bar soaps, and I could go on and on and on. I think everybody on this call and anybody that would ever be listening to this in the future, we can all agree that we're spending the money already. If I can take that money that they're spending on those things, because we know that the spending already exists, and just flip it, take that money that's being spent in the supermarkets and flip it to your water system, your windows, your doors, your bathroom installation, the solar equipment that you want to install, and just flip it to afford that, you're fundamentally not creating another payment for your consumer. Now, I want to walk you through how you portray the value today to that prospect so that they can see and their eyes are open to where the money is already going. I wear this on my shirt loud and proud. We put it on hats, we put it on book bags, we put it on hoodies, AnywayDollars. And the idea, we trademarked this thing, and the idea here is the money that the consumer and you, me included, are already spending on products such as soap, cleaning, personal care items, the money exists anyway. It's called AnywayDollars. The problem that your customer has today is this. Excuse me. The question your consumer has today is this. You present them everything in the home. You go through your demo. About most of you guys would agree that you guys and your sales reps and everybody that you've ever trained in your life are really, really, really good at the demonstration. And you get the yeses along the way, and you're in the bathroom, or you're talking about the hard water, or the precip test, or you're talking about the chlorine that's in the water, or doesn't matter. And you're going through this and you're getting a lot of yeses along the way. But then the moment comes where you, the sales rep, and the homeowner are sitting at the table together, and you slide pricing in front of them. And then it's kind of uh-oh, how am I going to pay for this? How can I afford this? And that's what I want to cover today. Okay. So let's start a little off by looking at the explosion brochure. I'm going to use a hard copy of the explosion brochure. The beauty of this thing is it packs a punch. So the reason it's called an explosion brochure is because it explodes out the value. So you open it, this is like regular size computer paper. We'll talk through the front of this here in a second. Then it opens it up and it talks about the problem and the solution. What is the problem that most consumers, most homeowners have today? They're spending the money on these things. They just don't know why this would matter or why a soap pack would have any benefit to them when it comes to buying your water system, your windows, your doors. It doesn't matter what the home improvement project is. They just simply can't see how they can afford it. And that's what this thing does. So from here, the reason it's called an explosion brochure is because it explodes out. And the idea here is that everything in the inner circle creates all the ready-to-use bottles around the outside of the inner circle. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we jump to it here on the screen. I don't love this first page. I think it's fair to say that. But the idea here is to allow consumers to see the product in a format that they're already used to. So if we go to the store today and we walk down the cleaning aisle and you see glass cleaner and kitchen bath cleaner and shampoos and detergents and dish soaps and the list goes on, you can agree with me that most of these bottle sizes are bottles that resonate with your consumer, with your prospect. These are bottles that we're used to seeing as consumers. Now, here's the thing. When you show them a concentrate bottle, their mind goes a million different directions. I'll be honest with you, and Nick, you probably can back me up in this, is that when you talk concentrates to most homeowners, unless they've used them, companies like Melaleuca, Branch Basics, and I could go on and on and on that use this formality or they use this form of concentrates, unless you're meeting a consumer that already uses them, talking concentrates to these people is like a foreign language. It honestly is. Like, say what? This little bottle makes this how many ready-to-use bottles? So the idea with this first page is to present to them a product that they're familiar with already seeing. You can notice a couple things. The dish soap is green. You've seen green dish soap. The multi-purpose is pink. You've seen pink multi-purpose. The glass cleaner is purple. You've seen purple glass cleaner. Like you could walk into any supermarket or any store in America or Canada or Dominican or wherever else we are, and fundamentally you can see these products. So the idea here is so that customers are like, okay, and it creates maybe some of this doubt or, hey, I got some more questions about this. The second page is kind of the problem and the solution. So what we've done and what we've stripped out is, if you notice on this inner page in the past, it used to be truckloads. And what we would talk about is the super concentrates really are an eco-friendly way to use commodity-based products, in everyday household or in everyday use. And why we shared the semi-truck picture was when you ship concentrates around the country, you're lowering the carbon footprint in America. And what that means is, and the way that we put it into this one, is we talk about freight and overhead over here. Okay, so if you're freighting around products, I'm going to back up a second, products such as these around the country that honestly 90 to 95% of some of these products are all water-based. What do you think you and I are paying for as consumers? We're paying for water to ship across the country. Like Walmart's not going to pay for it. So where does the cost get pushed down to? It gets pushed down to us. So that's why we talk about it on this wheel now. So we really look at AnywayDollars Explains. I'm going to read it word for word. AnywayDollars is the money that you are already spending at places like Target, Walmart, Amazon, or your local grocery store on everyday essentials like laundry, dish, cleaning supplies, and personal care products. 95% of the product that you're buying is wrapped up in cost other than the actual product. And that's what this wheel over here is designed to do. So let's walk through this for a second. This is how you would present it to the homeowner. I'll get into a role play here in just a little bit. But retail advertising, you guys have watched TV, I'm sure, and you see all the advertising that's being spent by the retail giants. not only the retailers, but also the brands that you're buying in the retailers. Who do you think that cost gets pushed down to? The consumer just doesn't see it yet, right? So big brands spend billions of dollars on ads that you pay for. You could honestly, like AI, Chat GPT, how much does Procter and Gamble spend on advertising a brand like X, Y, and Z? And you could probably find that freight and overhead. So when you walk into a store such as Walmart, let's just pick on them for a second. You got somebody stocking the shelves. You got lights and utilities that are on in the facility. Somebody's got to pay the insurance on the building. Somebody has to pay the taxes on the building. Somebody has to pay for the cashier, right? So that's where we put overhead and freight together. Again, if I'm going to ship these bottles, right, these ready to use bottles to where they're going to be stocked on the shelves at Walmart, who do you think's paying for the freight? The consumer doesn't look at it this way. Go ask any consumer right now, like, how much do you think that you're actually paying for when you buy a bottle of, put in the name brand, right? None of them are going to come back and say 5%. They're just going to tell you a number. Oh, I pay $10 for dish soap or whatever it is, right? The other idea is retail packaging. These are forever dispenser bottles. Okay. So much so that if you go back and look at a lot of our content from the past, the owner's mother-in-law literally has like a dish soap bottle that she's had for like 35 plus years. It's still under her sink today. But what typically happens in most households that aren't using forever dispensers? They're getting thrown in the trash. When this bottle right here of glass cleaner gets down to nothing, guess where it ends up, right? And so we believe in our mission is really championing environmental solution, which is part of our mission statement as an organization. We want to be a champion in lowering the carbon footprint by shipping concentrates around the country. And we also want to lower the carbon footprint of actually recycled or recycling bottles. So again, we get back to this thing, retail packaging, single-use plastics or single-use bottles and boxes waste a lot of money, and all they do is end up in the trash. The other thing here that you guys need to understand is every retailer in the world is going to want to make money, not only as a retailer, but the brand too. Okay, so who do you think absorbs that expense? It's us as the consumer. And what the consumer is actually getting is about 5% actual product. So if I go in there today and I buy whatever, a $10 item, right? My 50% of that's true, like 5%, 50 cents of that is truly wrapped up in the product, right? And how do I know this? Well, if you look at the disclaimer at the bottom of this, right? We do business on the other side of the business, has nothing to do with using this as a closing tool. We do business on our other side of our business where we do sell to the retailers. Okay. And those retailers like Target and Walmart and other Amazon too are using ready to use products, not in the form of concentrates, right? And I just know that all these costs are lumped in and the consumer's the actual one paying for it. So hopefully that explains that. Now, let's walk through this. This is super important that everybody gets a grasp on this. Why is the Explosion Brochure set up this way? Nick and I will talk to you, and if we're ever in a sales meeting with you or your teams, we're going to talk about inner circle and outer circle. Okay? The circle is this blue ring around, which looks like a circle. The inner circle has all the concentrates, and the outer circle tells you how many actual bottles those concentrates make. Now, what you can see is these 384 bottles. Let's pick on the multi-purpose for a moment. These 3 bottles of concentrates, right? These come in liter format, 33.8 ounces. These 33.8 ounces of product make 384 bottles of multi-purpose. Okay, so one of these bottles makes 128. Take 128 times it by 3, you get your 384. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, I want to talk to you guys about where the value actually comes from. Conviction, transparency is my goal here. Okay, the lower the viscosity. So viscosity is the thickness of the product. So laundry detergent, dish detergent, shampoo is another one. I think we can all agree that it's typically thick, right? Where multi-purpose glass cleaner and kitchen bath and foaming hand soap is water thin. Literally, if you pulled the bottle up and you shake it around a little bit, you'll see that it has more of the consistency of water than it does of something thick like a shampoo. Okay, so the value comes from the heavy valued products are the low viscosity things. If you notice right here, laundry soap, we exploded out here because it makes 2,700 loads, Most people in America, I'm just letting you know, unless you've like done this the proper way, I can tell you personally from my household, we use way too much soap in the laundry. You probably do too. We don't need as much soap as we actually put in there, but we use it that way because we want a good fragrance if we like fragrances. We think the more soap, the cleaner the garment, right? But the higher viscosity stuff doesn't make that many ready to use bottles, right? The lower viscosity, glass cleaner, multi-purpose, again, those are going to make way more ready to use bottles. Hence, that's where the value comes from. So hopefully that clears it up. My responsibility to you as a dealer, okay, or you as a business owner, is to stand behind the number that's in the inner circle. Okay, so let me explain this. And this is like the part of conviction that I need you to understand. Like, if I was brought into a courtroom and anywhere in the world, and a judge asked me, how do you stand behind the $9,570, Josh? I can show you exactly how. So if everybody wants to write this down, it's probably a good note to take. Where does the value come from? Well, the value comes from this. We have ready to use bottles on our website. We charge for those bottles. So multi-purpose. For all intensive purposes, if somebody buys one ready to use bottle, one bottle with a trigger on it, with a label, with the contents in the bottle, we're going to charge $7. Okay, so I take $7 times 384, and if I do that around the outer circle of this whole entire explosion brochure, I irrefutably can stand behind 9,570. Now, if you're not on this program and you're using a $6,000 program, or you're using a $13,000 program, or you're using we have a 20-year package out there, $20,000 program, right? Or 10-year, excuse me, $20,000 program. Irrefutably, I can stand behind those numbers, and here's why. All we do is increase the units on the inner circle. So if you have a sales rep that's coming by and say they're suspect of this, and they're like, how in the world am I delivering, 3 boxes, 5 boxes, or they get so many points, or they get so many vouchers? And I don't understand where they're getting the 9,570. Again, it's the price in which I charge for the item on the website for the single ready-to-use product, and I multiply it by the number of bottles that one creates. Does that make sense? So say that again. Sorry, Nick, I don't know if that was you. All right, cool. So that's what I do. And then again, on the bar soap down here below, I don't know if many of you guys know, but we've went to a 4-ounce bar of soap. We brought in different flavors recently. So I encourage everybody to reach out and get some samples of these if you haven't already. Reach out to Nick, and Nick will take care of you, or you can send an order to dealer orders at LSP Ltd. I'm going to tell you right now that this bar soap is fantastic. It's probably the best bar soap that we've ever created. You can see that some of the packaging already looks like national brand product, but that's the idea behind it. Okay. So the idea here is, let me walk you through kind of a role play here on what happens. So Nick, are you with me? All right, perfect. I'm going to use Nick as the homeowner, and I'm going to be sales rep. Now I'm going to ad lib this a little bit. And if you guys ever wanted to see a traditional role play where I actually walk, I put Nick down at the table inside of a home and do that. It's coming. It's going to be live in the university, but I'm going to ad lib this a little bit just so that we can stay on track with the message that's getting delivered today. I'm going to use this spreadsheet just so you guys can see how I use it to allow Nick to see the value of this as I presented price to him for whatever system it is that you guys install. Let's just say for this particular role play that Nick has went into a store, or he responded to a door knock or something, but he wanted his water tested. Okay. And so what typically happens in the water industry, and many of you guys, I believe, would probably agree with me, other than it being a referral, most people think that the sales rep's just coming in as a water expert to test the water. And what the homeowner doesn't realize is that the water technician, the sales rep, is actually coming in to test the water, yes, but provide a solution to the consumer based on the findings of that water test. So I walk into Nick's home, and Nick, I give you the best demo that you've ever been given. right? You understand what precip test looks like. You understand the chlorine contents. You get the understanding of the hardness of your water and all that stuff. And I get little yeses along the way. And you agree as we kind of walk through this together, and I'm giving you this water demonstration that, man, you and your wife, you and your household could really use this. You guys see the need to have clean water in your home. You also see I see the desire as a sales rep that you actually want this because you didn't really know how bad the water quality truly was. Is that fair to assume, Nick?
Percent.
Okay. So my question to Nick and family would be something like this. Based on everything you've seen today, based on everything you know about what your water looks like today and what my system can actually do for you, is there any reason that you guys wouldn't decide to move forward? Nick, role play with me.
Yeah. How much does it cost?
Exactly. I'm glad you asked, Nick. Other than price getting in the way of you actually getting this system installed, is there anything else that would prevent you from moving forward with, installing a solution to your water needs?
I don't think so. I didn't know my water was so dirty. So
Okay. So at this point in time, this is where your sales reps get tripped up, right? Nick's asking the question, goes back to the beginning of this training of how in the heck is he going to afford this? Now I'm about to slide $10,000 in front of him. Nick, are you prepared tonight to spend 10 grand?
I am not. I'll have to talk to my wife about it.
Most people aren't, right? And that's the problem. And I'm saying this is an ad lib here. That's the problem. I give you a solution to your dirty water needs. I give you a solution to the efficiency issues you have with your windows. We're in many different industries as liquid soap products. AnywayDollars works everywhere, right? And so many people see that there is a problem that they are trying to solve, but then when price gets slid in front of them, they're like, holy smokes, what am I going to do now? Right? And so now you're in this wrestling match with the homeowner and as a sales rep of saying, look, other than price getting in the way, is there any reason you wouldn't buy tonight? Mr. and Mrs. Collier, Nick, that's Nick's last name for those of you guys that don't know. If I gave you an opportunity to actually afford this system tonight with actually not having to find room in your budget, without actually having to pull another dime out of your budget, would that help you?
Yes, of course.
Okay. We've partnered with a company called Liquid Soap Products, and they offer a soap pack. It's called the Gift of Fresh Soap. And I want to walk you through a way that I can help you afford this system that isn't really actually going to cost you any more money than you're already spending. Does that sound interesting?
It does.
Okay. So, Nick, I got a question for you. Before we get started today and I actually walk you through this program, can we just do a little exercise together?
Yeah, of course.
Do you guys use laundry detergent in the house?
We do a lot of it.
How many? I see you guys have 3 or 4 kids, right?
Yep.
How much laundry detergent do you think you guys buy a month in a dollar amount?
I probably spend 30 or 40 bucks a month.
Let's just be conservative and say 30. Do you guys, the little kids running around, they smudge up the windows and they smudge up the glass door going out to the back patio, that sort of thing. Do you guys use glass cleaner in the house?
We do.
How much do you guys think you spend a month on that?
I probably spend 10 bucks a month.
Okay, perfect. Shampoo, I'm assuming you guys take showers, right?
We do.
Nick, how many more showers do you plan on taking the rest of your life?
Twice a day.
Twice a day, and that need's never going to go away. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
Okay, how much do you guys think you spend on shampoo in the house for you, the wife, the kids, the whole thing?
I would say probably around 20 bucks.
$20. Okay. Hand soap. I saw there's some hand soap there at the kitchen counter when we were running through the demonstration, and I know there's likely hand soap in your bathrooms and things like that. How much hand soap do you guys think you buy a month?
We get bougie hand soap, so probably around 20 bucks a month.
Okay. Body wash. Do you or the family use body wash or bar soap at all?
We do. I use bar soap. My kids use body wash.
Let's kind of lump those two together, right? Because they theoretically do the same thing. But how much do you guys think you spend on body washes and bar soaps?
I probably spend 20 bucks a month on bar soap, and I would say another 10 to 20 on body wash.
All right, let's just be conservative. Air freshener. This is a tough one, right? So air freshener, I'm sure you got some in the restrooms around the home. You might have some, in other places of the. Do you guys use air freshener at all?
We do.
Okay, how much money do you think you spend on that?
I would say $5 a month.
$5 a month. You guys are cleaning the bathrooms, your kitchen, cleaning the kitchen after the kids make a mess when they're eating dinner and things like that. How much do you guys think you spend on a kitchen and bath cleaner?
I'd say probably $10 a month to be fair.
$10 a month. Liquid dish. Do you guys do dishes in the dishwasher or excuse me, in the sink, or do you do dishes in the dishwasher or a combination of
A
both?
combination of both.
Okay. How much do you think you spend there?
Dish soap, I'm probably spending $30 a month if you lump those together.
Okay, an auto dish, do you guys, $30 a month if you lump both.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. What about multi-purpose cleaner? Can kind of be used the same way as a kitchen and bath cleaner. Multi-purpose has more flexibility to it. You could use it on your floors, things like that. Do you guys use multi-purpose around the house?
we do. We probably go through 2 bottles a month. So I would just say $15 a month, 13
Okay.
bucks a month.
And
Around.
here's I'm gonna ad lib right now. I went through a quick exercise, right? I didn't add up the monthly spend here, but let's just look at the monthly spend. And maybe I should add the monthly spend just for everybody on the call. Just give me a second and I will add it up for everybody. My question to everybody on this call and anybody watching in the future, if you put somebody on terms, or excuse me, if you offer financing to any one of your prospects, are the terms and or excuse me, is the payment of that monthly finance typically $170 or less? And you don't have to answer it. So for your sales reps, for you as a business owner, if you guys can't see where the money comes from, they're already spending it. Now, I don't want to use this number against Nick. That's not my goal here. My goal is to get Nick to open his eyes, Nick and his wife, to open his eyes on the money that's already being spent. Hence, AnywayDollars. So, Nick, would you agree with me that you're spending over $170? And that's, listen, let me back that down 10% or 20%. You're spending somewhere between $150 to $170 a month just buying products like this just to supply the house. Do you see that?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Nick, if I put, and you, most don't, because here's the thing, it's a commodity, and when you run out of it, what happens? You throw it in the trash and you go back to the grocery store, correct? And you walk through the aisles and you literally pick it up, you put it in your cart, you check out, you bring it in the house and you keep using it. And we're on this endless spending journey as a customer that we're never going to get off of. So I mentioned to you, you mentioned to me, other than price, there wouldn't be anything else that would get in the way of you buying this water system that you believe would help your family, correct?
Yes.
So the beauty of
Correct.
this is we actually give you a 5-year soap pack. Has a value of $9,570, and I'll walk you through that. So for the next 5 years, right? The odds are you're going to spend roughly 10 grand. Okay. Now, I did not preempt, again, I'm ad-libbing here. I did not tell Nick what to tell me on what he spent in the house. Nick, I don't know if you did the math for everybody watching here, but I can probably guarantee you didn't do the math because you didn't add it all up. But, right, the idea here is to open their eyes to see that the money's being already spent. Now, if I can offer you and your wife an opportunity tonight, if you purchase tonight, we call it a one call close in the home improvement industry, right? If you guys purchase tonight, here's what I can offer you. I'll throw in a 5-year soap pack. And what that 5-year soap pack looks like is this. Has all the items. We use super concentrates, and that's where the value truly comes from. One bottle of multi-purpose concentrate is actually going to make 128 ready-to-use bottles, right? You mentioned back on the little exercise that we just did a moment ago that you spend roughly $15 a month for a couple bottles of multi-purpose, right? So the idea here is to give you enough multi-purpose for the next 5 years so that you and your family don't have to go back to the store and keep spending $170, because you and I never get off the hamster wheel, right? And so that's how we use the Explosion Brochure in the home. Now, that's called a T-close, right? And some people have used it in the past. A lot of people will lump in, especially in the water industry, a lot of people will lump in like, what is hard water doing to the hardware in the home, right? To your appliances and things like that. They'll also lump in of bottled water. Nick, Jamie, are you guys going to the store each and every month and buying bottled water? Most people would say yes. And that's the formality of a T-close, kind of in a nutshell, if you will, right? But the idea is to open their eyes to the money that they're already spending. So keep the main thing whenever we're talking about a soap pack. What you're responsible to do is, one, give the conviction to your sales rep the value actually exists, but also give conviction to the homeowner that, yeah, I can see now that I'm already spending the money. And if I just take this $170 that I'm spending a month right now and put it towards the financing of a new water system, I can afford what you're presenting to me tonight. So, Nick and Jamie, my question is this: can you see where the value in the soap pack actually comes from?
Yeah, I've never thought about it like that.
So, would you agree with me that you guys keep going to the store each and every month when you run out of these products and go purchase more?
Done it every month for the last 10 years.
Yeah. So, my big promise to you, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, is this: my goal here tonight is to open your eyes to the money that's already been being spent. And that's why we explained AnywayDollars a couple slides ago in the middle section of the Explosion brochure. And if you agree with me that you're already spending the money in it, and you know that you have a desire and a need to want clean water in your home, and I've given you a way to fundamentally not have to worry about the price, I've just obliterated the price issue. You know that you're already spending the money in this anyway. Is this something you guys would like to have?
Yes.
Okay. So look, I do that a little bit differently each and every time that I walk somebody through that. But the goal here and what I want everybody to walk away with today is that the money's already being spent. They just can't see it. Because until today, with Nick being my guest role player here, Nick's eyes weren't open to this, right? And so the beauty about what we do from Liquid Soap Products is we offer a solution to the price objection. Right? The problem right now is each and every one of us on this call, if you're listening to it in the future, is that we don't see that we're actually spending money on this thing. It's just a thing that we do. So as humans and people that own homes, we have to buy cleaning products. We have to buy bar soaps and body washes and shampoos and all these things. And we don't even think about it. When we run out, we just go and buy it. Right? So if I can offer you a pack, right? Call it 95.70, call it 10,000, call it 13,000. We have many different variations of these packs, right? If I can offer a solution to you as the home improvement company that's running leads every night so that your team can actually just nuke the price objection, would it help you? Now, our goal and my mission in life is my passion in life, honestly, is to provide the opportunity for people to jump into this webinar, to watch a video like this, and to truly understand why soap as a closing tool would work. Okay? And so I hope I've delivered on that. Again, I know I ad-libbed the role play a little bit. You guys, I know, are really consistent and really, really good at walking your sales reps through not only the training of giving a great demonstration, but my question to you is, what are you doing to help your sales reps get through the price resistance? And that's really where we come into play. We want to be a partner with you guys. We fundamentally believe in what we're doing. Our product is clean, it's green, it's safe, it competes with the national brands, it works, right? We've been doing it for 37, 38 years now. And so if there's anything that I can do, I'll stick around a little bit. I know Nick has some housekeeping things. I want to talk to you a little bit about the university that's coming out in a moment. But you can raise your hand. I'm happy to answer any questions. And this is going to be part of, the university. You guys will have on-demand access to this actual training as well. Nick, you got anything to add?
Josh, I want to add one more thing too, is not only are we giving your sales reps a tool to take away the price objection of home inside the home, but if you are a company out there, HVAC, solar, water, whatever that is, if you truly believe every homeowner deserves what you're selling them, this just gives every single customer that you visit a way to afford what you're selling them. If you truly believe everybody deserves to have clean and safe water, a new HVAC system, solar on their house, whatever that is, this is you giving your customers a way to afford what you're selling them. So not only does it help the sales rep, it helps the customer because now the customer sees a way that they can afford it. It helps you, it helps the customer, and it helps the business. And
I
I just
want to, I
want to
want to,
add that.
I want to add a little bit to that too, Nick, is this. I'm a homeowner myself, and every time we go to do a home improvement project, the question is always, do we have the money to afford it? Probably no different than anybody else on this call, or no different than anybody that would be getting a water demonstration or inquiry about come out and check my windows. I know that they're old and I need to replace them. The question always becomes with me and my wife is, what in the heck are we going to do to afford this? The last thing that I want as a homeowner, and many of the opportunities that you're running sales on each and every night, most people think the same way, right? It's just human behavior. And then the other thing is like, okay, I have room in my budget, but sure would be nice if I already were paying for it. This just opens their eyes to that they're already paying for it, right? And so Nick said something that's super critical, and I think this is the reason probably why you're in business is you truly believe in what you're selling to your consumer, whether it's clean water, whether it's more energy efficient windows, whether it's you know energy efficient solar panels. We're working in the bathroom installation, people that want to, redo their bathrooms with like 1 day installs, 2 day install, bathroom fit, bath fitter type organizations. These these homeowners all think the same way. It's just the psychology of a buyer, right? And so literally all these soap packs do is does exactly what Nick just said. If you believe that every customer, every opportunity that you run across deserve what you're selling, this just gives them an opportunity to purchase it without having price get in the way. I couldn't beat on it anymore. I think that's fair, right? All right, cool. I'm open to answer any questions. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. Nick and I are super excited about this. It launches today. I want to I'll hit present real fast. So the Liquid Soap University, Nick, walk them through this a little bit, and then oh, my computer's kind of slowing down here for a second. Liquid Soap University. If you're here, I don't know why it's not going to the next slide, so I apologize about that. Here we go. So Liquid Soap University, there's a couple curriculums in there. Nick mentioned it. Sorry, Nick, I'm just going to steal your thunder for a second. But Liquid Soap University, so LSP University, LSP acronym for Liquid Soap Products University. Again, as I mentioned at the end of our call today, that my desire and our passion, Nick and I think I can speak for him, our desire is to give you guys the tools, the resources so that you guys can train your sales teams. Or if you're a sales manager here with me today, you guys have the tools and the resources to train the team that you're leading. I would encourage everybody in your organization, if you're going to use a soap pack, that they plug into the university. Now, I want to touch base on a couple things. You'll see down here that the Close More Deals, this workshop, this is a curriculum within the university. That's just a replay of what we've covered today and what we'll cover in the future, what we've covered in the past. And then every one of these other courses are behind a paywall. Okay. So you might be asking, like, well, Josh, if I'm one of your customers right now, why do I need to pay $1,400 for something or $250? You don't. I just have to put it behind a paywall so that not everybody has access to it. I want to give our customers the opportunity to have stuff that I want to put behind a paywall. Okay. So we have discount codes. If you go to lspuniversity.com, you enroll in one of these courses, it's going to ask you to pay for it. We'll see that you've requested opportunity or that you've requested to enroll in one of these. We will get you a discount code. You guys can reach out to support@lspltd.com. My entire customer service and dealer order processing team knows about this. We can get you the coupon codes. The idea here is that the mastery course is this. I sit in the chief operating seat. I've been in the business world for the last 15 years. I pride myself on being a decent leader. I don't know if that I'm the best leader, but we've continued to, keep a really good core group of people within the organization. I believe in the fundamentals of like EOS, which is the entrepreneur operating system, and how we've implemented that in our company. I also believe in, leadership principles that help other employees improve and become the best version of themselves. And then my passion and my experience is really in sales. So I'm no different than anybody else. I kind of give you some content, if you will, in this mastery course. The soap close is a fixed course. Okay. We have, I don't know, 15 or 20 segments of this course. The idea here is to give your teams the opportunity to train your team. Most people in the home improvement, most companies in the home improvement space, they deal with attrition at a certain percentage. They're always trying to recruit. And so this is a course that gives you guys the opportunity to train your team in real time. It's 24/7 on demand. And then if they want to learn these techniques about how to present the soap as a closing tool, that stuff is in there. Natural Visions and Pure Selects, Nick hit on that earlier. That's just a quick, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute video with some information about each product. So I think it's fair to say this, and Nick would back me up. I don't need you to respond, Nick, but you don't need to become a soap expert to use soap as a closing tool. Okay. Let me say that again. You don't need to be an expert about soap to use soap as a closing tool. Your job with the soap as a closing tool is to open their eyes to the money that's already being spent, hence AnywayDollars. Okay. There's a lot of, listen, I've been involved in this company for a long time, and I know that there's sales reps out there that try to be the soap expert. Don't try to be the soap expert. There's a lot of ingredients that goes into these products. We'll talk to you guys in the future about uh, things that we partnered with so that customers can scan the barcodes and see the ingredients on the actual product itself and know that they're third party rated with clean ingredients and things like that. But that's what these two courses are about, and then the file vault. So we've had people, again, 38-year-old company. We've had people that have delivered training in the past. If you've been a part of us for a long time, you've seen videos that look like they were created in the 80s and the 90s, which they were. And so some of those videos sit in that file vault. So it's just a repository, if you will, of different products, or excuse me, of different trainings. Nick, posters. So these are posters that are available to you free of charge. We're happy to send them out. And these posters are designed for you guys to put in your sales rooms, your training rooms. These QR codes allow your sales reps, your team members to go to our links to either register for a webinar. I would encourage you guys to get your sales teams involved in these things. The more that we go back and forth as an audience and myself and Nick, the more we're willing to help. But this is a poster that you guys can put in your training room. Anybody and everybody's welcome to come to these Thursday webinars. And then the AnywayDollar resources. The only reason that poster's there is, again, it takes them to a landing page where they put their information in. You get into my ecosystem. And anytime I drop a piece of content, anytime we have a new product release, or maybe we're out for the holidays and I need to let the team know, or excuse me, the audience, customers know that we're not shipping on this day because it's the 4th of July or it's another holiday or whatever. Once you get in my ecosystem, you guys start getting those emails. Okay. Last but not least, next Thursday, 1 o'clock Central Time, we'll be on again. We got some ideas about what we're going to present next week. Again, the emails will start coming out Tuesday of next week in regards to what that training will be about. So if you guys have an interest, there's the QR code. It goes to AnywayDollars.com/webinar. That's how you register. If you registered for today, I know I flipped the workflow on everybody. So again, I apologize about that. But you might have registered for today, but you didn't register for an event next week. So you will never get a reminder about that. We encourage everybody to register on the weeks that they can make it. Nick, you got anything else to add?
No, just appreciate everybody coming in today. Like we've said a couple times, this is something that Josh and I have wanted to do for a really long time, something we're really passionate about. But you'll get the copies of these calls. But if there's ever something or any topics you want us to discuss in these, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to, if you guys have any recommendations on, hey, my team's struggling with this, or hey, we're interested, but how does this work? Please feel free to reach out to me and we'll make sure we get it on one of the webinars.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say too, like we don't have a lack of things that we can train on. So maybe it's an objection that has nothing to do with price objections, right? Nick and myself have both been across from homeowners at the dinner table on a Wednesday night, right? Where we've met just about every objection that you could really face. And so we got tools and tricks and resources that'll help your team do that. And I'm excited to be a part of it at any capacity, right? So if you guys want us involved, we're happy to get involved, not only in this format, but one-to-one. If you want us to jump on a webinar with your team, we're happy to do that. Nick and I, fortunately or unfortunately, fly around the country, and we meet with sales organizations quite often. And so we're happy to come to one of your sales meetings. If I can do anything from a leadership perspective or an operational perspective, I'm happy to do that too. I have some skill sets there. So, with that being said, I just appreciate each and every one of you. And if there's anything that Nick or I can do, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll stick around for a second. Other than that, have a great rest of your week. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate your involvement.
Thanks, y'all.